The only way that somebody like Brian Thompson is by suggesting that he is motivated not by a desire to keep the company working and operative in a very difficult regulatory environment with a bizarre system of subsidies and administrative details and all the rest of that. And you can disagree with his decisions, think they're wrong, but that's the actual... Instead, what you do is you say he's evil and he's just trying to maximize profit. Once you start saying the evil profiteers are trying to harm Americans, that's their goal. Their goal is to harm, and I'm telling you this on both sides of the aisle. It is on the left predominantly, but there's a swath of people on the right who are also doing this routine. It's ugly. Now, I will say that there are elites who have lent credibility to this particular argument through their malfeasance. I think COVID had a lot to do with this. You have people like Anthony Fauci who are giving the platonic lies to the American public, lying for their own purposes in many cases, quashing their political opposition. But the generalized argument that is made too much in politics, and it does boil the pot, it leads to an increasing temperature that justifies violence, is this language that disagreements on policy are not because of a pragmatic inability to come to a conclusion, or starting from different first principles, or using logical deductions that end up with different conclusions. Now, the actual reason that, for example, the healthcare system is a mess is because Brian Thompson is an evil person who is trying to kill grandma. Right? Or the reason that the oil companies are attempting to pump more oil is not because there is high demand for carbon-based fossil fuels, because it's still the most effective form of energy production on the planet. It's because they want to destroy the earth and don't care about destroying the earth. And, or the reason the bank denied your loan is not because the bank looked at your loan, assessed the risk, and found that it wasn't worth the price. It's because the bank manager is actually Mr. Potter and is trying to deny your bank loan because he himself is evil. Now, this sort of stuff does get politicians where they want to go very often, because the easiest form of politics is to label your political opponents motivated, not by mistake, but motivated by actual sociopathic Darth Vader style evil. People just want to do bad things to you. But this does lead to higher levels of violence across the board. And one of the things that's sort of amazing in the right-left breakdown is, depending on who is doing the justifying, using the exact same logic, you'll see one side or the other justify it. So, for example, when Bernie Sanders, back in 2020, says that our system creates huge profits by deliberately killing people, which is not the way the healthcare system works. If that were true, life expectancy in the United States would have declined over the course of, say, the last 50 years, rather than radically increasing over the course of the last 50 years. The regulatory environment in the United States, we've discussed for healthcare, is a complete mess. But Bernie says he could just cut that Gordian knot by suggesting the reason that healthcare isn't better is because we need to nationalize it, and anyone who doesn't want to nationalize it wants grandma to be murdered.
The function of our current system, however, is simply to make huge profits for the drug companies and the insurance companies, who made $100 billion in profit last year, while people die because they don't get to a doctor on time.
Again, the basic notion that Bernie Sanders is spewing there, this Marxist notion that profit is inherently some sort of grave evil, and if you just got rid of the $100 billion in profit, then magically healthcare would get better. There are non-profitable systems. They're called nationalized healthcare systems, and the outcomes are not better. So it's just not true. But it's a sexy argument to many people on the left. It's even a sexy argument to some people on the right. Again, there are demagogues on the right who will do the same exact routine. Well, look at these systems. You know, it's very difficult for young families to buy single-family housing. That must be because there's a coterie of elite who don't care whether you can get single-family housing, who want to exploit you, who want to harm you. And we should go after those people. This sort of demagoguery exists across the aisle. What's funny, again, is depending on the context in which it crops up, you'll see different crowds condemning it. We'll get to more of this in a moment. First, you have an opportunity to open an IRA in gold with Birch Gold and receive free silver delivered to your home.